Okay, hey, read it, pay attention to it, okay? Like we said, we Israel United in Christ, here to teach you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who you are according to the Bible. Hey, brother, what the cane go on? With the crunch fitness bag. Brother at the stove. I see you, bro. Come back and talk to him. Listen, we try to wake our people up to who they are according to the scripture. Why is it that young men have to come out here and teach the old men according to the scriptures? Why do we seek wisdom from younger men? Because our old men have failed us.
Right.
Get that, Job 32. They failed us. So now us young men have to rise up and teach the people. The young men have to rise up and show the people who they are. Read that.
Job chapter 32 and verse 7.
Read.
I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom.
They should teach wisdom. The multitude of years should teach wisdom. I should be learning from the older men in my community. I should be learning from the aged men in my community. Read.
But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
Read.
Great men are not always wise.
Great men are not always wise. So the Most High God has put the spirit on his young prophets to come out here and wake the people up, to bring the people back to righteousness.
Hey, they said Jesus died for everyone.
Oh, my name's Jakim. Jakim.
Jakim, nice to meet you, brother.
You say Jesus died for everybody?
We were just talking about in the Bible where it says that for as in Adam all die, and in Christ all shall be made alive.
Okay, but you know that all is talking about Israel only.
That's talking about all.
Okay, let's get
like
that.
the world.
Give me, like the world.
Yeah.
Give me that. John 3:16?
Well, that's another one. Another one's in Matthew 28 where he says, go ye therefore teaching all nations.
Okay, all right, let's get that. Get what he's asking for.
That's in Matthew.
Yep, get it.
Oh,
get
you're
it,
talking
get
about 28.
No. Matthew what? What you want?
I think it's in 28. The wind's making it hard to turn the pages.
28 and 19.
Read it.
Yeah, 28 and 19.
Come on.
Matthew chapter 28 and verse 19.
Come on.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations.
And teach all nations, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Teach all
so all nations meaning all people.
Yes, sir.
Get Isaiah 11 and verse 10. We're going to get the understanding on what he's talking about.
Okay.
Because Paul's writings are hard to be understood.
Well, that wasn't Paul's writing.
No. I'm talking about Paul's writings. Because sometimes people can get confused between Paul's writings and Christ's writings.
Okay.
Christ plainly told us in Matthew 15, hold that, get Matthew 15.
Oh, sorry.
He plainly told us in Matthew 15 that he only came to save the lost sheep of Israel. But no, don't take my words for it. We're going to read thus saith the Lord, all right?
Matthew chapter 14 and verse 23. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
It sounds like, brother, it sounds like you just said he was sent to all nations.
Is that the New
Read it
Testament?
one more time.
Yes, sir.
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Hey, that doesn't say all nations.
So, are you saying the Bible's contradicting itself?
No, your understanding is lacking.
It
You
says
have
all.
no understanding. No.
It says all.
It's not, there's no contradictions in the Bible. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
There's no contradictions. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
No, there's zero contradiction. So if you find something that looks as...
I got you.
Okay.
So why did he say go into all nations and teach all people?
Because the world needs Jesus.
You know what I want? Deuteronomy chapter 28. There was a reason why he would say to go into all the nations and teach the people. Who was Christ sent for?
Christ, he was sent for the world.
He was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We just read it out of Matthew 15 and 24, correct?
And
Correct?
everyone else, yes.
Go back to Matthew 15 and 24. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
All right, so do we agree that Christ just said out of his own mouth he's not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? You just said it.
Yeah.
You just said that, right? Okay, now, good. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. I'm going to show you why Christ was said go and teach all nations. Because something happened, right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
The Lord shall do what?
Shall scatter thee among all people.
Who's the thee that was scattered among all people?
Bring it out!
Huh?
Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why he said, go teach all nations. Understand? Read it again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Uh-huh.
from one end of the earth,
One end of the earth
even unto the other.
to the other side of the earth, meaning America, South America, Japan, China, everywhere. We are everywhere. The Israelites are everywhere.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
who are the Israelites today?
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Who are they?
That's a good question. Do you mind answering that?
Yes, sir. Look right here on this time. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. Watch this. Watch what Moses said. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. Jacob had 12 sons, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all these people are nations today that make up the 12 tribes of Israel, because you won't see Britain in the Bible, right? You won't see Europe in the Bible, right?
Rome.
You see Rome, but it's talking about a particular nation of people. Just like Israel was talking about a particular nation of people. So American blacks, Judah, right? Benjamin, we get this out of the Bible. Watch this. I'm going to show you. Watch this. Yeah, get Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel.
So the point was, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel, right?
Okay.
Now you say, how do we identify who the tribes are? Genesis 49, verse 1. Pay attention. Christ was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We cannot contradict. Christ cannot lie, right? Does he change? No, he's the same, right? Read what you got.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
And when?
In the last days.
Right. So Jacob called who? And said, what will befall them in the last days? Who did Jacob call?
Sorry, I kind of spaced out. Can you read it again?
Pay attention. Read it again.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said,
Unto his sons.
Yeah.
Who are the sons? The 12 tribes of Israel. All to the Most High. Read it again.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Uh-huh. So right now, it says Jacob gathered his sons and told them what befall them in the last days. So I went to Deuteronomy 28 for a reason, because what did the Israelites deal with?
At that point?
Blessings and curses, right? Watch this. I'm going to just give you an example. Deuteronomy 28, verse 16. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Uh-huh.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who's cursed in the city and the fields in today's time? Like you're on the east side of Oklahoma right now. What people do you see?
Ask him.
Hey, my brother.
Same question.
Yeah, he said everybody. Hey, brother.
Ask him the same question.
My brother right here. I know you're taking pictures. When you go to the ghetto, where you from? I'm from Midwest City. When you go to the ghettos and slums in Midwest City, or anywhere in America, what people fill up the ghettos? What people fill up the ghettos? Black folks. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans fill up the slums and the ghettos, right? Watch this. Read it again. Read verse 16 again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Read on.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So when we were brought over here 1,400 years ago, pay attention, as black people in 1619, where were we put in once we were sold? Huh?
I guess it depends on where, but most commonly fields.
We were put in the cotton field. We were put in the tobacco field, picking master's cotton. You understand that?
Can we read another scripture?
No, hold on. I got you. Just pay attention. All right, read it again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. You're looking at slave ships right here. What manner of transportation was we brought here on? Ships 400 years ago. Why were we brought into slavery?
Chain to get, you said, why was we bought?
Yes, sir.
I'm on the work for the white man.
Right. So we was put into slavery for a reason. Read 28, verse 15 so we can get the context. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Meaning, if we didn't listen to the commandments that we received from God when Moses came down from Sinai, which we read out of Deuteronomy chapter 1 and on through Deuteronomy. Read.
To observe to do all his commandments.
To observe to do all his commandments, which today is the Sabbath day, right? You see fringes on the men's clothes. I see you got your beard. That's a commandment of God. All these things are different commandments that we kept, that we must keep because we were given the laws. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all the curses will come upon the Israelites and overtake them. Read on verse 16, just so we can keep it in context.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
The very next curse is cursed in the city, right? Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Let's bring it all up to life, right? Read what you got, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What was the Israelites doing in Egypt? You remember the history? I can't hear you, bro. Well, okay. We was in slavery in Egypt for 400 years, right? Okay, so Moses delivered us out of Egypt, out of bondage. That's what Moses is saying right here. Listen to it again. We'll get the precept. We're going to read the precept, but read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now get the precept. Exodus 20 and 2.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
Yes, sir.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Egypt, read.
Out of the house of bondage.
So that's what Egypt is meaning right here in this precept. It's the house of bondage. It's going into slavery. Right? Now go back to Deuteronomy 28:68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With the ships. How did we get over here? With cargo slave ships stacked up on top of each other, shitting, pissing, periods, everything going on with the nation of Israel.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.